I am the shadow teacher. And with regards to the magical practice, very little attention is placed on the physical body. What does the physical body of a magician look like? What is the physical body of a magical practitioner, the ideal physical conduit? We see magicians depicted in film usually as wearing long flowing robes, but you don't actually see the physique of the practitioner, except for, I'll say, one example, which is actually quite a good example of a an ideal magician body, is that of Luke Skywalker from the Star Wars film. So Luke Skywalker in Empire Strikes Back, when you see him training, you actually do see the physicality of a magician. And this is important, as in the Franz Barden book, Initiation into Hermetics, and many other books I've read, as well as wisdom and coaching from my own mentor, who is quite adept at magical practices. The body is quite important. And when we have a supple, free moving, free expressing body, we're able to move energy and thought more efficiently, more effectively. We embody energy more effectively, and we can express it outside of ourselves more effectively as well. And again, this is the intention when we're doing magic rituals, pure magic, as I call it. We are offering ourselves as the vessel. We are offering ourselves as the conduit. And the more pure the conduit, the more powerful the magic. Now, I know a lot of you who are watching this, you may think of examples of quite powerful magicians who have terrible physiques that are old and withering away and decayed and are quite powerful in their magic practice. And I will say, with a black magic practice, you also get a great illustration in Star Wars with Emperor Palpatine. You see this figure that looks decaying and decrepit and is being withered away with the darkness that consumes him. And I think this is a great metaphor for black magic, as when one is using others as the vessel for the magic, blood sacrifice, and the sacrifice of other beings against their free will, or tricking them to give up their free will, you're using them as the vessel for the magic. And the karma is that your own being starts to decay. And that's essentially very common with the black magic practice. Very powerful. You get quicker results from what I've seen with that, but heavy price to pay. And one of the prices is the decaying physical form, the rotting away of the body and soul from an act of violating the will of others. But for pure magic, you are the vessel. So the healthier one is, the more free in expression. So one would need a healthy musculature, but not excessive. Again, think about like the Jedi, like the Luke Skywalker physique. He's very healthy looking in Empire Strikes Back. And when you see him doing the handstands and the one-arm handstands, and I know it's movie magic, but it really gets the idea, like that type of physique, the gymnast type physique, which is very muscular, but not excessive, not to the point like a bodybuilder or a pro wrestler has. Though there are some exceptions. There are bodybuilders and pro wrestlers who have a high level of physical expression, not just in their muscularity, but also in their movement in the modern world. But again, the idea is just enough, just what's right, so that energy can move and express, that you are an efficient conduit, but you don't get in your own way. And there's research now in the world of physical fitness and wellness. A lot of research has been put into this very interesting component of the human body called fascia, this web of collagen and water that goes throughout our whole body. And fascia is trained through stretching and through holding shape. So the longer we hold a form, the longer we hold a shape, then our fascia starts to condition itself to mold in that shape. And on the flip side, the more we move and express, the fascia gets trained to transmit information throughout the body to be able to move more effectively. Like parkour is a great example of people who have trained their fascia and trained that mechanism of the body to a high level of expression. And think about when we're looking at this as tubes of water, where's the last place you want to be in a thunderstorm? You don't want to be in the ocean. You don't want to be in water, because when lightning strikes, that lightning bolt hits a lake or hits the ocean, the water is going to be an effective conduit for that electricity, and it will go into you and overwhelm a human body that is not adept in receiving that level of electric shock. So we see this example of how electricity transmits information through water in nature, but we have that in our brain, in our own body. Like when our nervous system sends those electric signals, it's not just through neurons, it's also through fascia as a transmitter. There's also evidence that trauma, emotional trauma and emotions, painful emotions, get stored in our bodies. They're stored in our fascia. They're stored in holding patterns. And the intention here is for us to disassociate. When we experience an intense trauma, to survive the trauma, we have to disassociate from it, but it's still in us. And that's sometimes when the memories of those traumas still control behavior, but it's in the body and held. That electrical signal and those memories are held within our cells and in this fascial system, in this holding pattern. I mean, I remember my ex-girlfriend one time, she got body work and just broke out in tears because she remembered a very traumatic event, and it was related to losing a child. It was in her abdominal area. I think it's where the release came, and it was all related to that trauma. And she just broke out, and the memories came back, and it was just amazing watching that and just seeing her release and then be able to reintegrate that trauma and then let go of it. But again, this is all related to the body. And so when we have trauma stored in our bodies, it limits us from our freedom of expression. It holds us back. It was, again, there to protect us at one time, but if we do not release it and reintegrate it and come to peace with that trauma, then we are held back and imprisoned by it. So again, having that supple body and releasing the traumas from a very somatic sense is important to a magician, important to one who seeks to be adept at manifestation and expression. That's all. Manifestation, that's all that is. It's putting intention and being able to bring that intention to life. But most people do not put enough on their physical body. Manifestation starts there. You have to learn how to use energy in your own frame before you can start extending it outside of you. So I'm going to end this transmission. Hopefully some of these ideas get the wheels churning. I am the Shadow Teacher. Be strong, be well, and I will see you on the other side.